Hey Deckers, the Resident Evil 4 remake demo is here, and if you're looking like the one on the left here, then don't worry, it's actually quite easy to fix, although you are going to still have a bit of a frames per second problem. I must admit though, after having a play and fixing the issues with the drivers here, that the game does actually look incredibly good. So what you need to do is head over to your system settings and switch over your system update channel to preview. This is because the drivers that are needed for Resident Evil 4 remake demo are only in the preview channel right now. They're not even in the beta channel for some reason, and you will also need to make sure that your Proton hotfix has been updated after you've applied all the review fixes. Other than that, you can run with the default Proton, and do be sure to, in the control menu, switch to button type B, otherwise it will show the PlayStation controller layout. And then in the graphics settings, I did put this down on the preset to balanced, and then I did tweak these down a little bit more after playing around a little bit, try and get a bit more stabilization. Did drop cinematics down to full HD, but that didn't make a huge amount of difference. But bringing the texture quality down to medium and the texture filtering down to medium with the motion blur off did seem to help quite a bit. Turning VSync off didn't seem to make a huge amount of difference, but I did leave that off as well, just to try and eke out a little bit more performance. And capping this at 30 frames per second in game or via the Steam Deck did also make it much more stable. You will see though that the wattage is still way up into the 27-28s, so you're not going to get a huge amount of battery life out of this one, probably around an hour and a half at most. So hopefully they will be able to tweak this, and unfortunately in some areas it does still go down into the 20 frames per second mark. Now, I'm not entirely sure what's causing this. Maybe a few tweaks will sort this out later on, and we get some big loading spikes inside as well. For some reason, it's inside that those frames do seem to be hitting the floor for some reason. But what's even weirder is that even though it's around the 20 to 25 frame mark, it is still playable. Now, it's a consistent frame, so it's not bouncing around all over the place, so it doesn't feel as jerky as it could. You definitely notice that it's under 30 frames per second, but it is only temporary. As you can see, as soon as we go down into the next section, we're back up into the 30 frames per second mark, but then it suddenly just hits the floor down to 20s again for no apparent reason. Hopefully this is something they'll be able to work out before the full game drops, because it does actually look incredibly good on the Steam Deck, and the controls do feel pretty good as well. What it does show is that Valve once again have managed to sort out drivers to make these games work and look incredibly good on the Steam Deck. Hopefully we'll see this happening more and more. Unfortunately, I have tested out a couple of other games with the preview build and there hasn't been any difference just yet. That doesn't mean that we aren't going to get better improvements in future, as well as better game compatibility for some of the newer releases. I'll leave you with a little bit more of the gameplay here from the Resident Evil 4 Chainsaw demo so you can see a bit of that performance without me talking. Let us know in the comments below if you're going to be diving into this one or you're going to wait for the full game. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.